guys, Justin, Vintage 55 Restorations here. Another how-to video. This one's on gaskets again. It's probably the most common thing I get asked about is the refrigerator door gaskets. But there's so many different variations that I can't show you how to put one on each one. So just look through my videos about gaskets. There's some helpful hints on all of them, even though it might not be your exact fridge. So this is kind of more of a general one on how to corner and round corner your gaskets. So I do sell gaskets, just the standard e-bubble type, and I can do seamed corners that are ready to go for your hard corners. But with some gaskets, you can only buy it by the foot, and so then you have to, you know, make your corners. Also, some refrigerators, Philcos, Admirals, like in the last video I mentioned, have rounded corners, which is not a seamed corner. You have to make those. So I'm going to show you how to do that with a regular e-bubble gasket, E-type, and then with I'll briefly talk about the Admiral gasket that I had in the other video, and I'll just show you. So when I talk about a hard corner, that would be a corner like that. At the bottoms, always, not always, I think Coolerators have round corner bottoms too, but most, the bottom two corners, and then most, the top two corners. So if I then stretch that out, the only thing that's connecting this is the very outside edge, and it goes from the center of the gasket. So if this were my fridge door, the very center of the arch, you don't want to go past that because that's your seal, but you want to go everything on the inside. So for a e-gasket, it's the same idea. Your center of your arch, you don't want to go past it. So if you look on there, that's just a square. You're just taking a square out. So what we're going to do is just something sharp. You want to make sure your cuts are clean. You got to get those angles correct. You may take a couple cuts in between. Remember, you can always take off more. You can't take off less. So I got that same shape. And then when you bend it, you should get a nice corner. Now, you see how it kind of bubbles up and it sticks out? That's going to make your seal not work very well. So what you have to continue to do is take out a little bit more until you get that to be good. So this section right here on the back part, that's not a seal. That goes underneath your door. You can cut that all the way down. I usually cut that a little bit more than the front so that there's less material folding up and getting in the way. See how that's more? And then when you don't have that bunch up on the back. You still have it on the front, but the front matters. So we got to be real careful with how much material we take off here. Just keep checking. So now this part's nice and flush, but that corner is still a bit bunchy. Just take a little more off, a little more, a little more, a little more. And then as you can see, it starts to go. So on the type I sell with the grooves, you want to go right to the end of the grooves. You want to basically line up with that last one so that your cut ends right there. And then that gives you a pretty good edge. And go like that. See how it's pretty much flush. And then you just put that on like any other door seal. You'll put it around the corner, put your screws in, it should hold. You could use a little bit of silicone, gray silicone, if you want to fill that crack a little bit, or if you go a little bit too big. You just pump it in there, and then put a piece of tape on your body of your refrigerator and close the door so that it melts, moves, and settles into the right flatness. Because if you put it in there, it turns into a big old silicone blob, and then you try to close the door, it's going to be hard and it's not going to work. But again, try not to use silicone. Don't use that as a band-aid for all your mess ups. Just try to get it right the first time, slow and steady. So that's how you make a corner gasket. How to make a round gasket is a little more tricky. You're going to do the same thing, but multiple times in a row, and you're going to pizza cut it. So with the Admiral, like I mentioned, you got your round corner, but when you actually stretch it out flat, you have that. So you're not making a full 90-degree corner with one cut like you are with this. This one, you have a big 90-degree cut to make a full corner. You're actually, each cut is only going a little bit. So that's why these ones are long and skinny, but they go to the same depth across the gasket. So on our E gasket here, what I would be doing, and you're going to do it with the back one as well. Not, see with this one, I got that square angle. You're going to not do that. You're going to go a little bit more vertical. I usually go about a pencil eraser thickness between them. And then this is important. When you make your next cut, don't cut into your other cut. You want to leave just a slight gap here, but connection. I'll show you why. So I'm making my second pizza cut. And then what happens when you pull those out, you can see that top gasket is connected. It's a circle still. If I were to cut into the other cut, this would be flaps. So I'd have 3 flaps here, and it would be messy. It wouldn't look good. It wouldn't work as good. And so with these pizza cuts, you just put as many as you need to. I like to put the gasket on as much as possible until it gets to that corner, and then mark it slightly with a pen right before it starts to, about a ½ inch before it starts the turn, and then a ½ inch after you stop the turn. Or you can just do your start and then cut it and see how, and guess and check and see how many you need, and then repeat it on your other corner to match and make sure you put it in the same spot. So depending on how long that curve of that corner is going to change how many cuts you use. But you don't really want to make them bigger. You just want to make more of them. So as you can see, I got my cuts like that, and as you turn it, and I mean, if this were flat, you know, stuck down, you'd get a round shaped corner where it's got a gradual curve rather than, that's the back, that doesn't look good, where it's got a gradual curve rather than just a hard corner. Let's take a little bit of work to do, but as you can see, like I said, I went to the very where the seal starts, where your side starts. So if the side profile of this one, the door is closed, you'd see that smooth part, and you wouldn't see the cuts because the cuts would still be on that side of it. It takes a little bit of finesse, takes a little bit of doing it, and you'll have all these little pieces of, you know, gasket pizza all over the place. But that's a real good trick to know. That does apply with other things too, like icebox gaskets and tape. If you're really wanting to tape something, you don't have like pinstriping tape that flexes, you can do that with masking tape as well. Just go buy a roll of pinstriping tape if that's the case. But and you can do it with fabric. You could do it with what else I was talking about, like chrome, like that plastic chrome trim, kind of chintzy stuff. But if you're decorating something, you know, works fine. Basically, you can do that with veneers even. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this, you know, pie cutting to make a curve. So hopefully that helps somebody that's got a big old bunched up gasket at the top of their refrigerator right now. Once it's on there and installed, you can go back in, loosen those screws up, and just cut some pie cuts in those, and it'll work just fine. So if you got that going, go do that, and it'll make your fridge work better, and it'll make it seal well, and it'll keep it nice and happy. So everybody, have a good night or good day, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.